Hello guys, welcome back to another video in the series Green Card 101, where we are answering different questions around the US DV lottery green card. And this is a third video in the series. I encourage you to watch episode 1 and episode 2. Links are in the description box at the bottom of this video. So in the last video we talked about the proof of funds to support your application for the DV lottery green card, and in general we talked about the need to have proof of sufficient funds to support yourself on arrival in the US and having a reliable source of income and support, which could either be a family member, it could be a friend already in the US, it could be a promise of employment. Today we are going to be looking at another angle of in terms of supporting yourself once you get to the US, and we're going to look at where do you find a host in the US, especially if you do not have any relatives, you do not have any friends, you do not know anybody. So while it is not a must for you to have a host in the US for you to get a green card, you need to have a physical address in the US where your green card is going to be sent to, because once you have won the DV lottery, you have gone for the interview, they are going to give you a temporary visa for about 6 months, which allows you entry into the US. And then about a month later, they are going to process the actual green card and they'll need to send it to an address. So that's why it is important. Do not wait until you win the green card and then you start running up and down trying to get a host or a US address. So generally, you can decide to get a host in the US, or you can decide to take care of yourself, especially if you have sufficient funds. So the first way to go about it would be to probably get yourself an Airbnb in the US or get some cheap hostel, or if you have the money, you can get a hotel. But of course, you don't want to go and start telling them that, hey, I am here because I'm waiting for my green card. No, just go and book the hotel. And then you can let the reception know, I am expecting a mail in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So when it comes, please let it be sent to me. And what that means then is that by the time you are winning the green card, the moment you start filling your DS-260 form, you need to already have an idea of where in the US you want to land, which city, which state do you want to go to. And these are questions that you need to already be asking yourself. And in the next video in this series, we are going to look at what is it like for you to win the green card? How much does your life change, and what determines how quickly you settle in the US? So you want to watch out for that video. We are going to be looking at factors that affect how your life turns out when you get into the US. What is it like to move to the US after winning a green card on the DV lottery? That's what we're going to be looking at in the next video. So if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so, and also make sure to hit the notification bell. It is on the right hand side of the subscribe button. So let's quickly look at how the different ways you can find a host in the US if you do not have any acquaintances, you do not know anybody. You know that not everybody is privileged to have people in the US that they know. So the number one thing you want to do is, if you have the money and you can afford, I would encourage you to book a hostel or an Airbnb for at least 2 weeks or thereabout, or even a week, so that when you get into the US, you can, if you like the hostel or the hotel, then you can continue staying in it as you try to find your way around. If it's like an Airbnb, sometimes if you book for extended periods of time, they're gonna give you a discount. So those are some of the factors you'll have to consider. You can decide to go in for maybe a week, and then thereafter you can look around and see if you can find a cheaper accommodation. It really depends on you. Another way you can find a host in the US if you do not know anybody is go to different Facebook groups. There are different Facebook groups, but you do not want to be waiting until it's like May has come, May 7. We are expecting the DV 2024 results in May 7th or 8th. So don't wait until May and then you start joining these groups. And that's why, guys, I always say that we have to be very strategic. If you are looking to move abroad, you have to be very strategic in how you do your things. At the beginning of this year, we looked at manifestation, and some of the things we're talking about is as much as you are doing your affirmations, you need to follow with inspired action. Inspired action means you are making deliberate efforts to make sure that whatever you are manifesting comes to pass. So, for example, if you are manifesting a permanent residency in the US, you cannot just sit back and hope that it happens in the air, because you have to submit an application. So you have to submit your green card, and even as you hope and pray and affirm that you get the green card, you have to do other things. So, for example, in my last video, I talked about 100,000 applicants are going to be invited, but only 50,000 green cards are issued, and they are issued on a first come, first serve basis. So even as you offer your prayers that God help me to win this green card, you're not just doing blanket prayers, but you're also saying, God help me to win the green card, but also help me that my number is closer to 0, because the closer my number is to 0, the higher my chances of getting an interview or being successful and getting the visa. So in terms of accommodation as well, you do not want to be in a situation whereby the green card lottery results are out and you're running up and down. Oh, where do I get money? Where do I get a host? Like you didn't know that the results were going to come out at some point. And remember, there are deadlines to when you need to submit your application, and they usually close September 30 of 2 years after when you applied. So that's going to be September 2024. You have to make sure that you have already found yourself into the embassy, you have all your medical records, you've done your interviews, and everything else has been done by then. So that means you have to have started joining those Facebook groups. If you haven't started, then you need to start joining them now, and not just joining to keep quiet. You have to be in those groups and also be active. Remember, people, so like for me, for example, I am in one Facebook group. It is called Wanderlust Diaries. It is a travel group. I have been in that group since 2020, and now we are in 2023. The group has 400,000 people who are actively on the group, and I have personally also been active. And that one thing I'm 100% sure of, because I have been so active, and I know a lot of people in the group, like I don't know them, but because of I've been there for 3 years, I feel like I've already known them, because they keep posting, I keep posting, we interact with a lot of people. So I am 100% sure if I went to the group today and told them, hey guys, I have won the green card, I need accommodation, I am 100% sure I will get at least 5 people offering to host me, because it is a travel group. And you can, by now I almost know, like the active people who are in the US, I know them because people discuss these topics a lot. So it can be very easy. Or even if I can't directly find somebody in the group, I might find somebody who knows somebody. So that's why you need to be active in these groups. You need, and not just being active trolling people, but active giving information, giving constructive criticism, giving constructive, like responding to questions, and just being seen. Yeah, remember, you have to take space in these groups for you to be trusted by anybody to host you. Another way you can find a host is by going through the comment sections of these groups. So not just being active, but going to the comment sections. So anytime a topic comes up in like this Wanderlust Facebook groups, people are saying, oh, this is my story, I got the green card like this, I got this. So just by reading up those stories and going through the comment section, you can find people who are actually in the US and DM them, and just be respectful. Don't send those stupid hi and 50 highs without say, hello, my name is Eva, I have been following you on the Facebook Wanderlust Diaries Facebook group. I got to learn that you are in the US. I was intrigued by the last time you talked about this. This is how I knew about you. I have won the green card. Unfortunately, I do not have any family. Would you know somebody who can host me, or can you host me? So that message, make sure you give comprehensive information, and don't just, and try and find people who you at least have had a rapport with, or somebody who knows somebody. The other way you can know it is going through YouTube comment section. So for example, in this series, we are talking about green card. We are answering different questions about the US DV lottery green card. And you must have seen, even in my other videos, when I talk about a particular topic, you will find somebody come and say, hey, Eva, I have also done ABCD. If I'm talking about cruises, for example, somebody will come and say, hey, Eva, I am also in this cruise ship, or I am in that other one. So even just going through the YouTube comment section, you can almost tell that this person is in the US. and also being active. So for example, even just on my YouTube lives and all, I know there's a lot of people who are always very active in the comment section, and I notice them, and I'm almost certain other people who are active in the comment section also notice them. So it becomes a very easy way for knowing who is in the US, who can help me with this, and just build rapport with each other. Take advantage of the comment section. Don't just come to listen, but say hello to each other. You just never know who might be of help to you. And then we have different WhatsApp groups. So for example, myself, I am in a WhatsApp group for people in the US, and this particular group, let me even look at how many we are right now. So this WhatsApp group is, I won't say the name, but it's mostly a group of people who are in the US, and the admin usually posts jobs. Anytime there are jobs in the US, she would post them here. If let's say somebody is looking for a room, like even right now I can see they've already posted that there's a room, I won't say the place, there's a room here, and they've been talking about the rent is $900 for a whole month. So if I want the green card today and I was looking for accommodation, I'll just come here to the group and maybe tell the admin that, hey, I am looking for somebody to connect me, or I'm looking for somebody to host me. So that's another way you can visit if you're a member of different WhatsApp groups, and you can see, you don't wait until, so for me, I've been in this group for almost, I think, 9 months now. So if the need arose and I wanted help, I could very easily just send a message to the admin and ask for help, or even just look at what they have on offer. Even today, I can see she posted a room is available. Sometimes she posts the ones which are furnished, sometimes unfurnished, and they even specify whether they're looking for females or males or whatever. Another way you can find a host in the US if you don't have any family is going through Telegram groups. So for example, your girl here has a Telegram channel. I hope you guys are probably aware. The Telegram channel is Travel Eventually, and any other Telegram channels that you can trust, join them. And there's a lot of conversations that happen in these Telegram groups. You just never know. So for me, my Telegram group, let me show you my Telegram channel. Here is a link to my Telegram channel. You can join it there. And just going by how that Telegram group operates, again, it's the same way with Facebook groups. You have to take space in these groups. And if you are taking space and interacting and sharing with the members of your group, then the chances of finding somebody who is willing to host you or even refer you to somebody else who can host you are very high. So you can take advantage of that. I've talked about WhatsApp groups. There are, so don't just forget about those groups where people are constantly sharing problems and collecting money. I'm talking of constructive WhatsApp groups that I am a member of. So for example, I am a member of a group, it's called Gene Coaching. Very, very amazing people on there, a lot of positive energy. So I know that such a group, for example, if I wanted a host in the US, it would be very easy to find somebody who's reliable. So that's why, guys, I always say, don't just join groups for the sake of joining groups. Join groups that add value to your life and be very helpful. Another way you can find a host in the US after you win the green card lottery and you do not know anybody is going through your church, your synagogue, your temple, your mosque, or whatever else you go to worship or for your spiritual nourishment. You will be surprised how many connections your church pastor or mullah, or I don't know what they call the synagogue ones, I don't know what they call the pastor in the synagogue, or whoever is leading worship in a temple, you will be surprised how many people they know in the diaspora. So if you have been active in your church, you have been active in your mosque, in your temple, in your, I don't know where else you go, it will be very easy to approach your pastor and just let them know, hey pastor, you know, the results for the DV lottery are gonna be out next month. I am making a special prayer request. Please remember me in your prayers. And then when you win, just go back to your pastor and tell them, pastor, guess what? God had my prayers. Unfortunately, I do not have any host. You can be sure your pastor has prayed for 1,000 other DV lottery winners, and they can connect you, or they probably have a relative. And if you're a member of like the Seventh-day Adventist Church, there are a lot of people from one particular community in Kenya. You can be sure each of the people from that community and in that church know somebody who's in the US, and they will host you. Another place that you can find a host for your, once you have won the DV lottery, is to contact your local area politicians. We are talking about your MCAs, we are talking about your women rep, we are talking about your governor, we are talking about your, what else do we have? CAs, any of these politicians. And sometimes it's very difficult to find them, but just go and knock their doors, you just never know. And these people are very likely to be interested in supporting you, because in the next couple, let's say if they're in Kenya, in about 4 years, they're going to need your money to do campaigns. So there's a lot of interest there for them. They either know somebody, or they have a relative, or just know someone who can host you. So guys, these are just some of the ways that you can find a host in the US, especially if you do not have any relatives. And the bottom line here is for you to think outside the box. Like, the options are endless. I hope this video was helpful. Please, if you haven't, guys, I can see the 7 of you online, but only 1 like. Please give the video a like. It is free. It helps to motivate me, and it helps the algorithms to push the video to a lot more people. Thank you very much. Please watch the other videos in this series. There's a link in the description box at the bottom of this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.